Hello and welcome back to another episode of That Sound Podcast. Today I'm going to be ranking Metallica's first 5 albums in my order. So let's get straight into it. At number 5 we have Kill 'Em All. First album by the band. Original lineup of course, Cliff Burton, Lars Ulrich, Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield. It was produced by John Zazula, Paul Kokoro, and it was recorded in May in 1983. Some of the tracks: Hit the Lights, The Four Horsemen, Motor Breath, Jump in the Fire, Whiplash, Phantom Lord, No Remorse, and Seek and Destroy, and Metal Militia. Yeah, it was the start of what was to be over 40 years now of this career of Metallica. So some quick notes on it. Released on July 25th in 1983 in Rochester in New York. It was recorded in Music America studio. It is 51 minutes long and its label was Megaforce. So that is my number 5. At number 4 we have Master of Puppets. What an album. This was not an easy list to put together, but going over the last few albums for a podcast, doing reviews and stuff, I have some better albums in my top 3, we'll say. But Master of Puppets, it is a fantastic album, there's no doubt about it. Got this on vinyl not too long ago. It's an absolute class. It's actually an original Brazilian press, I believe. Some of the standout tracks for me: Battery, Master of Puppets, Sanitarium. Orion is probably my second best instrumental by the band. I'll give you some quick notes on that. So it was released on March 3rd, 1986 in Sweet Silence Studios in Copenhagen with the producer Flemming Rasmussen. So the guys, this wasn't the first trip to Copenhagen as they did go on previous albums. It was certified 6 times platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America in 2003 for shipping 6 million copies in the US. Next on the list we have the Black Album. First album the band used producer Bob Rock. Yes, it was a change of pace for the band. It was more commercial. It wasn't as trashy, of course. It was more kind of radio friendly, I suppose you could say. But I love it. I think the drum sound on this album is probably the best drum sound ever made. Big room, one-on-one studio, of course, and some of the standout tracks for me: The Unforgiven, Wherever I May Roam, Don't Tread on Me, A Vote for Man. The God That Failed is a really underrated song. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And My Friend Misery. Bass doodle that Jason Newsted does on this is absolutely phenomenal, especially in some of the live shows. Let me give you some notes on this. So it was released on August 12th, 1991. It was recorded from October 6th, 1990 to June 16th, 1991. And of course it was recorded in the one-on-one studio. And a fun fact for you: do you see this little piece in the corner here? That is actually flooring from the one-on-one studio that I picked up a couple of months ago as a gift from a friend. I think it's an absolutely brilliant piece to add to the wee studio here. But so the Black Album is the 5th studio album by the American heavy metal band Metallica. Bob Rock, of course. The album marked a change in the band's music from the thrash metal style of their previous 4 albums to a slower, heavier and more refined sound, which I think complements a lot of the musicianship in the band. Metallica promoted Metallica, the Black Album, with a series of tours. They also released 5 singles to promote the album: Enter Sandman, The Unforgiven, Nothing Else Matters, Wherever I May Roam, and Sad But True. Absolutely fantastic album. Next on the list we have Ride the Lightning. Absolutely fantastic. I love the image on this. I love the colour. I love that blue. Picked this up not too long ago as well. It's an absolutely monster album. Some of the tracks, of course: side 1 we have Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black. Side 2, Trapped Under Ice and Escape, which gets a bit of shit from people. I think they are 2 absolutely brilliant tracks. Very trashy, very fast. Big Kill 'Em All, very kind of heavy metalish. So, and then we have, of course, Creeping Death and The Call of Cthulhu, which is a phenomenal instrumental as well. So let me give you some notes on this. So it was released on July 27th, 1984. It was recorded from February 20th to March 14th in 1984 in Sweet Silence Studios in Copenhagen. It was the first time that the band went there. They, of course, used producer Flemming Rasmussen, and the rest is history. What an album. Really, really good. We've done a deep dive on this album on a podcast. Be sure to check that out. And at number 1 for me, we have And Justice for All. What an album. Like, yes, okay, the production, the bass, we've all heard the stories. But you know what? I don't care. If we didn't have the production, if we didn't have the no bass, we wouldn't have this album. Yes, Jason got, he had big boots to fill. It was the first album that he had to step in for Cliff, who unfortunately passed away, as we all know. And the band, they were going through a lot. And they probably took out a lot of their anger on Jason, which was not cool at all. But that's why we'll say that the bass might have been lowered, But, look at the tracks. Blackened and Justice for All, Eye of the Beholder, One, The Shortest Straw, Harvester of Sorrow, The Frayed End of Sanity, To Live Is To Die, which is the best instrumental by the band by a mile. I've never heard somebody to be able to play the guitar and make it feel like it's going through heartache, sorrow, anger, misery. And then at the end of that track, I think it's acceptance that Cliff was gone. And then, of course, some of Cliff's bass lines is in that track. But Dyer's Eve, what? Like the drumming, come on, like Jesus. There's a reason why no one can play it live again. It was that damn good and that fast and that special. But what an album. I really, really love it. It's so damn good. As I said, we did a deep dive on this album with Dave Moore from Today FM. One of his favourites as well. So I'll just give you some quick notes on it as well. Released on August 25th, 1988, and it was recorded in 101 as well. And Elektra Records, and it was produced with Flemming Rasmussen. There was a bit of trouble. They couldn't get their hands on Rasmus, and then there was another producer that produced Appetite for Destruction stepped in for a while, but he didn't get on with James and Lars, and he swiftly got sacked, and Flemming was rushed back to finish it off. But an absolutely monster album. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps, and hitting that bell, get that notification for future videos. Again, we have some deep dives on some of these albums, so make sure to go through our stuff on our channel, and I'll check you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.